Whoa, whoa, hello. Woo. Hello, boys and girls. How is everybody doing on this wonderful, beauteous day of quarantine? A lot of people are feeling a type of way, feeling sad, anxious, scared, a whole bunch of different things. We all wish we were here on a beautiful, magical island with your family, just, gazing at the sun, sunbathing and breathing. Right? We wish we can all do that. But during this difficult time, we have to find different things to do because by law, we're supposed to not really be outdoors unless it's essential, correct? So because of this pandemic, there's a lot of us that are going through a lot of sorts of different emotions, right? Even doctors, anybody that's on the front lines, even people at home that are stuck at home all day, they're thinking about a whole bunch of different things like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? What are we doing? Right? And the question is simple. Oh, the answer is simple. Sorry. The answer is simple. There is so many different things you can do, right? So before we start to do that, I want to first get myself out of this magical island. That is beautiful, but we have to get ourselves out. Back to reality, guys. So, so today I want to show you guys different things and different ways you can try to keep up with this quarantine. So, for example, I'm a teacher. So sometimes what I like to do is that sometimes I like to call my siblings. A lot of my siblings are very young. I am a sibling of 6. And so what I do is I take these little posties that I have here and I teach them the months of the year, the colors, the opposites, and all this other good stuff, right? So sometimes I like to do that. But not a lot of us are teachers, right? So another thing we could definitely do is make DIYs. You can make different types of creations at home, right? So I've made Play-Dohs, little figures, little sculptures. The one thing that I really like to do is make little it kind of looks like kind of something that you could play with. I don't really know a name for it, but it's really cool. So you could definitely make these. So you take a mason jar, or you take whatever jar. You can actually do it in a water bottle or really in a cup. You could do this in whichever way you want to. So you take a cup or you take a water bottle, whichever one, because you can make a couple of these. You take food coloring. You put food coloring inside here with water and like a tad bit of soap, maybe just a little bit, so that there's some kind of suds in the top, like as you can see up here. You can kind of see it. So you do that. You also take some glitter. The glitter could be any sort of color. You could get it literally at the dollar store for probably about maybe $2, $3, depending on what type of glitter you get. You could get them shaped into regular circles. Mine is really small, but they're kind of shaped into sort of kind of hexagons in a way. So you could get them into different kind of shapes, stars, unicorns, whichever one. I like the hexagon one because I think they're cool. I'm not really a star fan per se. So I did one of these. So I take food coloring, dip it in there, put a little bit of glitter. You could put the glitter in any color and you actually can just shake it up and there you go. You made like a tiny little something for yourself, right? So it's really cool. You can definitely make these at home. You can literally tell your friends all about it, especially if there are friends that are sitting there with really nothing to do. So, and as you could see, you could actually take your flashlight and you could put it towards the jar and it actually sparkles and it looks really nice. Sometimes when I look, I see like bubbles and I kind of just picture, if you're good at visualizing, right? So visualizing is pictures in your mind. You think of, like, for example, I want a banana smoothie. You're going to think of yourself drinking a banana smoothie, right? So that's an example. Sometimes I visualize myself being in here and like swimming in here. I chose blue because blue is a very calm color. And you can actually think of yourself as being in the ocean because the ocean is blue. The only thing is that the ocean doesn't have glitter, but you could definitely picture yourself in the ocean or in the pool or in a place you love and enjoy. Like I really like the beach. So I really like to take some shells that I've collected during my summers and I just take them and I feel them. I close my eyes and I'm just like, wow, this is awesome. right? And sometimes what you can do is have something called essential oils. I don't really have them on me currently, but you take essential oil, sometimes you put it in water and you put it in a cute little humidifier. And once you put it in a nice, pretty little humidifier, what you then do is you could definitely just smell the essential oils. Like, for example, I have lavender and it's like awesome, like amazing. It smells really, really good. And I really like to just smell it and just sit there and really think, right? And like when you smell flowers, what do you think of? So this is actually called, how do I say it? It's aromatherapy. That's the word. So aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is basically when you start, it's like therapy for you. So like when you smell something, for example, like I have lavender essential oil, which is like an oil that you use to make anything smell good. You could put it in your shower and well, in your bath, and you could put it in this humidifier. So I have this little humidifier. It's super cute. And I bought it off of Amazon from probably about maybe 10 bucks, 10, 15 bucks, depending. My screen is pretty bright, so I apologize for that. But yeah, you can get one of these and it's really, really cool. It's awesome. So that's it sitting in my room. And you just sit there and you smell, right? And you close your eyes and you just really think about the stuff that you like. So for example, I have this teddy bear that I put some essential oil on. So you could also put oil on products. It depends on the type of oil you buy. So you take what you put the oil on, or you take a lotion. Like for example, my lotion smells like coconut. So I sit there and I'm like, yeah, that feels so good. It's awesome. So you just take one smell. You don't have to sit there and constantly smell it, but you just take one smell and you just like one sniff. And it really, really puts you in a nice, nice place, right? It's awesome. So whichever you want to do, right? So now another thing you could definitely do is order out to eat, right? So a lot of people have been eating during this quarantine, but don't eat so much or don't eat so little, right? It's very important. So one of these days out of the quarantine, you could treat yourself to some food. So for example, like I got this little menu. I actually ordered pizza the other night and I thought it was delicious. And I was like, I deserve this pizza because I've worked really hard to keep myself sane and to, make positive thoughts, in my head. Um, Also, what you can also do is write poetry. Like I said, you could write poems. A lot of my students like to write poems and all this other good stuff. So it's awesome. It's definitely great. And another thing too, so a lot of people don't know, but you can also write a book. So during this quarantine, I decided to write a book. If you look at this picture, it's actually a picture of me, which is really cool. So I made a book and I thought it was awesome, right? It's like super cool. And, I was like, whoa, like I can make a book with my poems, like, and these poems are from when I was really young. So there's a lot of things you could definitely do during this quarantine. There's so many different things. You could keep in touch with your friends, call your family. You can also write in a journal, right? You could write about your feelings and all this other stuff. So this is my journal. I haven't really written anything in it yet because it's brand new, but it's definitely a yellow journal and I have my little pen. So it's really, really cool. So you could definitely just write stuff on there too. You can look at old pictures with your family and your friends. So let's look at this, for example. Right now I'm quarantined with my family. And sometimes what we like to do is that this is actually a little photo album that I made. And I just take old pictures of me and my family and we just like sit there and we really look at these pictures and we're just like, whoa, this is awesome. This is super cool. And we think about all those happy memories that we had when we were growing up, right? So that's one thing for sure. Like It's very healthy to sit there and talk with your family. It's very important. So for example, we have this picture of my grandmother in the background with my cousin, myself, and my little sister. And we sit there and we look and we're like, oh my gosh, like look at us when we were young. And we sit there and we talk about all these old memories, right? So I like to share a lot of these memories. These memories are super awesome. Like, for example, I love chocolate ice cream so much that there was just a picture of me just like swallowing chocolate ice cream. And we just sat there and we was like, oh my gosh, like Melanie was just so obsessed with ice cream, like chocolate ice cream. And she loved it so much and she had it all over her face, you know, and we just laugh at these pictures and think about memories and stuff. You can also recreate these pictures. Like you can take pictures with your family. Like, for example, this is my cousin, you know, in a little like kind of like dress, and she basically recreated that dress and took a picture with it, like how many years later, like 12, 13 years later. So you know, it's really cool, it's awesome, it's amazing. So there's so many different things you can definitely do, especially to people out there that are feeling anxious and that are feeling sad and that are feeling, you know, a certain type of way. There's so many different things you can do to keep yourself occupied during this quarantine. And also, if you do step outside, whenever it is essential, just please make sure that you wash your hands. Wash your hands with soap and water. Soap and water is the best key. You use hand sanitizer. What else can you do? You also, when you wash your hands, you have to do it for 20 seconds, right? So when you wash your hands, you wash them with soap and water. You wet your hands first a little bit. Then you put the little soap, right? And you have to make sure that you soap, wash, wash, wash. Then you sing happy birthday twice. You could say the ABCs, anything to keep you occupied during this time. You can wash your hands, wash the back of them too. Make sure that you get the back of your hands as well. And you also can get your wrist, because sometimes your wrist can get in contact, right? This is when you come back outside from wherever. Like, for example, I only go outside to go food shopping. I get myself something to eat because we need to eat, right? So we definitely have to go outside for whichever various reason. So you have to make sure that you have your mask on at all times. Definitely, definitely. You need these masks. These masks are important, super important. And when you wash your hands, you get in between your fingers, and you also have to get under your nails. It's very super important. So you just get under your nails like so, and you have to make sure that you get all under there as best as possible, as best as you can. And you can also do this and rub, right? And then after that, you can rinse it. Just rinse it, rinse it, rinse it, rinse it, rinse. It makes such a huge difference when you do that. When you wash your hands, you always use hand sanitizer. But even with hand sanitizer, you always have to make sure you wash your hands. Soap and water is the key to keeping yourself healthy and clean and safe, and keeping those around you super safe. Also, wipe your surfaces. Take Clorox wipes. You wipe them onto your surface. You wipe them whenever you're finished bringing groceries in. Whenever you take your groceries, I take my groceries and I wash them with soap and water. But if it's like in a box, like a cake, for example, like if a cake is in a box, I'll spray it with a disinfecting spray. But you definitely need to just do a lot of these things to keep yourself happy and healthy with your family, you know? And during this quarantine, you guys can make bonds. You guys can play video games and do a whole bunch of stuff, you know? Like, it's really, really important to do that, okay? So, you know, always reach out to a friend whenever you're feeling sad, whenever you're feeling anxious, you know? I feel anxious almost all the time. I think about my students all the time, and then I think about how they feel during this quarantine and how upset they are, whichever way possible, you know? And I try my hardest to keep myself together during this time. And so this is a picture of me wearing my mask, okay? So this is me. I'm outside. I'm about to go to the market, and this is me with my mask on. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, because the screen's kind of whitish. But you see that my face is covered. You don't see my lips or anything. But definitely, you just have to make sure you have these masks and have all this stuff. So just please make sure that you do that and all that other stuff. Also, you can create a 10-minute 10 photo challenge. I think it's called a 10 photo challenge. I don't know who the challenge is by, but these are pictures of different types of things you can do in your house. So I have my sister modeling different things you can do at home. So as you can see, she's like cleaning and doing all this other stuff. She's reading a book, she's doing laundry, she's cleaning, she's sleeping, she's spraying stuff, she's holding a pillow. So there's so many different things you can do, definitely. So that's my take on what you can do during this quarantine. I also have pictures of my little brother and my little sister pretending they're going on an adventure. You know, it's really amazing the things you can do. My brother's vacuuming the vacuum. He enjoys to do that very much. So that's what I'm saying, right? So these are different things you can do. But just please, please, please make sure that you and your family are sticking together. You guys are speaking to one another, and make sure that you have a great communication with your family. So that's all there is to do. And during this time, I ask that you guys keep safe and that you keep each other, you know, in thought. Think about those that are in the front lines. Think about those that are really risking their lives to make sure that everyone is safe, especially where we are right now in New York City. It's hitting us really hard, but we know that we're strong at the end of the day. So without further ado, what I would like to do is to really just meditate and really think about those, you know, going through what they're going through with this quarantine. So without further ado, while I'm in my nice little world of the beach, I'm going to lay back and just relax and think about all the good things that I possibly could during this quarantine. So until next time, thank you so much, boys and girls. This is Melanie from Bronx Community Charter, MMCC, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Hey, could you get me a soda?